Good night, everyone doing tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J. Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a word on tonight, and the topic gonna be the wedding guests. Now you want to invite Jesus to your wedding when you run out some wine. So this story about Jesus, this will be his first miracle. Now he will turn water into wine. A miracle is told. Now, Jesus, his mother, and the disciple all had invitation to the wedding. So Jesus would change difficult circumstances and turn it into a miracle. Jesus would change difficult circumstances and turn it into a miracle. Now this story will be coming from John chapter 2, verse 1 through 11. So now on the third day, a wedding took place in Galilee. Jesus received an invitation, him and his disciples. When he got there, his mother was there. So Jesus' mother also was there. And in this wedding, the wine run out. So Jesus' mother had let Jesus know there is no wine. So Jesus said, "Woman, why are you involved in me? You know, um, my time has not come yet." He told his mom, "My time ain't here come yet." Because, Jesus he just started getting his disciples and preparing everything for his ministry. He ain't never had started his ministry yet. So now this going to be Jesus' first miracle. And he telling his mama, his time not come yet. But she's not paying it no attention because she'll turn right around and tell the servant, "You do whatever he said do." Now Jesus telling his mother his time ain't come yet. So now Jesus' mother still told the servant do whatever he said do. So Jesus did just what his mother said. Cause Jesus gonna obey his mother. He is a sweet person. He gonna obey his mother. Even though he said his time is not come yet, he will obey his mother. Now Jesus said it's not his time yet, but the mother didn't stop his mother. She still proceed an order for the servants to do whatever he said do. So there is no more wine, but he's about to turn this water into wine. Now he had them to get 6 stones, water jar, that one of them big old water jars, 6 of them, you know, the kind that you use, which the judge use for ceremony, washing. Each one of them jars hold at least 20 to 30 gallons. So that's big old jars. You're gonna hold to 20 to 30 gallons. There's gonna be 6 of them. So now these 6 big old jars. Now he telling the servant to fill the jars up with water. Now the servant, the owner one, gonna know about this miracle. He the owner one gonna know because he gonna be the one that's filling the jars up with water. And next thing you know, they're drinking on wine. So after they fill the jars up, Jesus said, "Draw some out." Now then the filter jar, all 6 of the jars up. Now he telling them to draw some out and send some to the master. So the master tastes the water, and he loved the water. He said, "This is the best wine I ever taste." So he tastes the water. He tastes the wine that turned into water, and the water had been turned into wine, but he didn't realize. All he know it tasted good. So the master tasted the wine. He didn't realize where it come from, but the servant who had drawn the water knows. He know that wine that you drinking was water. So the servant, he the only one that know it was water that he turned into wine. So now the master tastes the wine. He called the bridegroom and everyone else to bring out the church, the first church of wine, and the cheap one. Because the one that he tastes, he want to say that for last. He know the best wine when he tastes. So he said, bring out the cheap wine. He said, bring out the first church, but he said, leave the other wine I taste for last because that's the best wine. So they say the best for last. The wine that was water, once water. So what Jesus did here in Galilee was the first or the sign through which he revealed his glory. Now this is his first time he revealed his glory. This is gonna be his first time he doing a miracle. And his disciples believe in him. They can't help but to believe in him. You seen water, big old things filled out with water, and then next thing you know, everybody is drinking wine. He ain't went to the store nowhere, ain't got no wine. All that come from the water was supernatural power. So now this was Jesus' first miracle. Jesus changed water into wine. So if you're going to have a wedding, make sure you invite Jesus. If you gonna give our invitation, make sure you give Jesus an invitation. You never know you're gonna run out some wine. Because the wine that he turned it into, the water that he turned into wine was the best wine. The master said, he said, I want to say that for last. I want to say the best for last. So if you're going to have a wedding, make sure you invite Jesus. It clearly announced his nature, showing that he came to bring joy to his people. Even though he told his mama, my time ain't come yet, he still obeyed his mama and he perceived that miracle. So the host of the wedding celebration that would have been embarrassed, but if the wine had run out dry. So if Jesus wouldn't have stepped off, because he told his mama, my time ain't here yet. But he still obeyed his mama and perceived that miracle. Now, if he wouldn't have perceived that miracle, everyone would have been sad. He is the loving person. He don't want to see nobody sad. So he perceived that miracle and everyone was happy. But if he wouldn't have perceived that miracle, they just would have had dry cups with no wine. So Jesus' mother turned to the one who can turn sorrow into gladness. So Jesus' mother, she turned to Jesus. Now she could have told the servant, go out and go get me some wine. But that was a big old banquet. That was a big old hall they was having wedding at. But she know the power that her son had. She know he never perceived nothing yet. But she know he the only one that can produce some wine. So Jesus' mother turned to the one who can turn sorrow into gladness. Now Jesus quietly, worked behind the scene to turn this water into wine. Just him and his servant. Everybody wasn't in there with him and his servant. He worked quietly behind the scene. Look, you fill up these 6 big old jars of water. And next thing you know, he used the magic wine, and the water was wine. And that was the best wine that they had at the wedding. So he quietly worked behind the scene to turn the water into wine. And when the banquet master tastes the wine, when he tastes the wine, he was surprised, because that was the best wine that was at the wedding the whole time. So then what he had been served at first, so that was the best wine that he wanted to save for last. All the rest of the wine he had that wedding didn't taste better than this wine here that Jesus had turned into water. And he don't even know right now it been turned into water. The water was turned into wine. So Jesus does not say the best for last. He said the best for now. Let me say it again. Jesus does not say the best for last. He said the best for now. And that's how we have to live life now. We can't say, well, next week or this month we're going to do this. You got to do it now. He didn't say the best for last. He said the best for now. So those who drawed the water saw the miracle. That was the servant. So Jesus has the power to change things. Jesus has the power to turn water into wine. Jesus has the power that you could just touch him and you is healed. So Jesus is a guest who can never uh, stay too long. He is a guest that can never stay too long because Jesus here and there. He's starting out his ministry. This is first miracle. This is first, walking around, going to place to place. This is his first, miracle. This is going to be his first. He's trying to do preparation, get everything together. So he is a guest that can never stay too long. He just like Peter. You see in 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, the next day, and next thing you know, they're on the move. So Jesus is a guest who can never stay too long. So one, Jesus turned water into wine, had his servant to use big old 6 gallons of water that hold at least 20 to 30 gallons. So two, his mother told him the wine ran out. Everything dry. Your life is dry, your storm is dry. Anything can be dry. But she know the only person know that he could make wine. He could turn your situation around. Anything that's dry, he could turn it around. He could bring it to life. He brought that water to life and put some of the color on it, and you had the best wine that you ever had at the wedding. So 3, Jesus is not his time yet. That's the words he used. He says time is not here yet. But sometime when you think your time is not right, like he thought it was the right time at the right moment. Because he know exactly what to do. He went behind the scene, told the servant, fill up all these jars. When he brought all that water back there, he turned one of them jars into wine. He said, pour some of this out and let the master taste. He thought it wasn't his time yet until he started doing the miracle, perceiving the miracles. Because sometimes we might that's just like Joe when I put that out two days ago. God gave him a plan. But then he just was sitting around waiting on God to give him instruction when God already gave him instruction. He refused to move. And he just sit there until he had got old. And Jesus was waiting on instruction. He said, my time ain't come yet. In other words, he was waiting on God to give him instruction. But then he went on to proceed that miracle. He let his gut feel it. Y'all supposed to go with your gut feeling. And he perceived that wine. He worked behind the scenes quietly. And he perceived that miracle. For now Jesus followed his mother's command. Now he will always obey his mama because he is a respectful, holy man. But Jesus followed his mother's command, and everything came out perfect. The wine was good. Everybody enjoyed the wine. So 5 had the master to taste the wine. The master was so surprised. He didn't realize this was gonna be some good wine. He didn't realize it was water. That he turned into wine. So then the wine that he tastes, he said save it for last. That was the best wine. He said we gonna save this for last. He said all the cheap wine and all this other wine that bring that out. He don't realize that had ran out. Ran out. He said, bring that out. We're gonna say this best wine for last. So the servant who drawed the water, he the only one know and saw the miracle that Jesus did. He already know. He the one filled the jars up with water. The next thing you know, everybody drinking wine. Everybody drinking wine. And he's standing there, he's stunned, like I just filled up these jugs of water. And you looking, it's red. Everybody drinking wine. And he know it was buckets full of water. He know Jesus didn't go out nowhere ain't got no wine. He know nobody but Jesus used supernatural power and turned that water into wine. And when his disciples saw, he perceived that wine, that miracle, they couldn't help but to believe. Oh, we believe you, Master. They believe him, you know. And now we see at a wedding, it become to be dry and difficult, circumstance. But Jesus turned it into gladness, where everyone was happy and they all enjoy the wine. And there was a public thing, a public wedding. They had so many people there, you know. And so these big old 6 jars that he had to serve and fill up, it hold up to 20 and 30 gallons, and he filled all them up with water, and next thing you know, everybody is drinking wine. The best wine that you ever had. He took something that was dry and turned it into something that was amazing, that put smiles on everyone's faces that was at their wedding. And that's how our life is. Sometimes our life can be dry. Sometimes our stone can be dry. It could just be so dry till you're miserable. But if we have a Jesus that can put gladness in your life. He could take your dryness and turn it into gladness and turn it to whatever you want him to turn it to. So this was Jesus' first miracle. He turned a dry situation into gladness. And that's how he could do our life. We just have to give him an invitation to our life. Just like they give him an invitation, he was a blessing to that wedding. And that's all we have to do. We have to just start giving Jesus an invitation. All we got to do is give him an invitation. Because Jesus can heal you. Now we can see that he can turn water into wine. He can turn any dry situation and make it a wet and beautiful situation. So I hope y'all enjoy this word and y'all have a blessed night. And you remember, if you're having a wedding, always write Jesus on your wedding. We see how he could take a dry, difficult situation and turn it around and put smiles on your face. Everybody was happy, had smiles on their face, because they were drinking the best wine that Jesus had turned into water. That he turned wine into water. So that was the best wine they had. The master said, "Ooh, this tastes good." We gonna save this for last. He wants to. You always want to save the best for last. But just like Jesus said, I won't just only say the best for last. I say the best for now. And that's how we have to do. We got to do everything for now. I live my life day by day. Day by day. Because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen the next day, the next week. And a lot of us plan things for next week. Plan things for next month. But life not guaranteed. That's why Jesus said, I say the best for now. We have to live in the now. Not schedule stuff for next week and next month. It had to be now. So y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see y'all on the next video.